I have to make a confession. I stole something from Amherst and never gave it back. I've kept it for 4 years, and it's followed me across dorms and semesters. I have to come clean. I stole a green to-go box. Remember these? For those of you who don't know, Amherst bought these during COVID to encourage eating outside our dining hall. They were a symbol of convenience, avoidance, stench. Then suddenly, they were gone. Ask anyone from the class of 2026 onwards, and they'll have no idea what we're talking about. But we remember. Some of you might remember these green boxes as an unwelcome COVID reminder. But I see something different, a philosophy. Because inside this box are 3 important lessons that I'm taking to go. Lesson 1, stay green. And I don't just mean eco-friendly green. Remember how green and naive we were freshman year? How in our first month at Amherst, we'd sit next to anyone in the Val tents. No hesitation, no awkwardness, just, hey, mind if I join you? Then for 4 years, we've collectively forgotten how to do that and refused to say hi even when we know someone. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Casey. Why won't you say hi to me? I've noticed this month that a lot of us have suddenly remembered because the end is near. Why did we wait? I wish we all stayed green and channeled the spirit of freshman year more. Look, I know it's hard to stay that optimistic. We as a class have been through a lot together. We've survived a global health pandemic. We've witnessed a war in Ukraine. And we've experienced a huge presidential transition. I mean, when President Elliott came in and took over from Biddy Martin, everyone was up in arms. Another straight white guy. He smiles too much. And why is he lurking at the rave? At first, I was skeptical too. But I've come to realize that what unsettles us about our friendly neighborhood president is just that he's stayed green. He's embodied the best parts of freshman year, saying hi to everyone, going to every event on campus, and getting himself into a lot of awkward conversations. I've seen this friendly greenness in a few others. Renee, who brightens everyone's meal as we enter Val. Math professor Contreras, who sits with anyone for breakfast. And future CEO of LinkedIn, D.A. Mavani, who will help anyone with their homework at midnight. What do they all have in common? They kept their greenness. Look, I'm not telling you all to backtrack to freshman year, but let's move forward and not leave behind openness and curiosity. Be intentionally green moving forward. When you walk by a stranger, say hello and look at them, not at your phone. When your friends want to make plans, take it out of the group chat and make it happen. And let's not wait until our 50-year reunion to finally talk to that Amherst classmate you wanted to talk to. It's hard, I know, but that's why we need to be intentional about it. We've left behind many things from freshman year we don't want to see again. Masks, nose swabs, and 3 times Grammy Award-winning artist Common. But let's stay green. Lesson 2, pickle. Pickles teach us a lot about how to frame our lives. Because fermentation shows us that in the moment, some things look and smell really bad, but give it time, and you get something pretty good. Like pickles, kombucha, or kids. Embrace the rotten, because sometimes a horrible process is what makes us better. And you can only see that in hindsight. So reframe things the next time something doesn't go your way. When you're suffering through the last weeks of your thesis, you're not just in pain, you're becoming a scholar. When you get a B+ in beginner ballet, like I did, you're not just failing, you're pushing your comfort zones. And when housing forces you to move into a Cohen double or forced triple, point is, no matter what you're facing, a tough assignment, an embarrassing moment, or just bad luck, those things are miserable. How are you going to deal with it? Reframe it. Remember, pickles. Embrace the painful and rotten. My family faced one of these very painful moments last summer with a brain cancer diagnosis. Dad, you've beaten the odds, and I'm so thankful that you're here today. At the time, your sickness was one of the most rotten things I've ever experienced. But looking back, that time brought our family closer together than ever. I learned not to hold back my gratitude, my words, or my love. Despite the pain, we all became stronger. We reframed the rotten as growth. The confidence I've grown into this year hasn't come from success. It's come from surviving this hardship and failure. Many times I felt down. I was actually on my way up. So in these first post-grad years, you're gonna be tempted to compare your success to others. But fermentation takes time. So will your success. I hope you're lucky enough to not always succeed immediately, lucky enough to sometimes fail, and wise enough to wait for the process to finish. The process stinks. Sometimes it feels like you're gonna run in circles for no reason at all, but that's when real progress happens. I did track and field, you can trust me. Be patient. Life's a dream, but sometimes it's first a pickle. Lesson 3, bridge. Bridge is a card game that I've played every Sunday since coming to Amherst. I've played with a lot of seniors, and not just my classmates, because when I say I play bridge, people usually go, "Oh, my grandma plays that." So how did I get involved with a hobby of the Margarets and Gertrudes of the world? I started the way many college activities do, hanging out with your friends freshman year. Unlike most activities, I got involved because Big Mike bribed me during orientation week. He said I could get paid to learn a dying card game. So on Sunday, I showed up to North Common Room at 4 p.m. No questions asked. Now, I hated bridge at first. It's a tough game to learn. You sit at a table and play as a partnership with the person across from you. Lots of rules, lots of teamwork, and lots of frustration. But when the $15 hit my Venmo the next day, unemployed freshman me reconsidered. So my friends and I kept showing up week after week to get paid and learn how to play bridge. Before long, we loved the card game itself, founded the Amherst Bridge Club, and began traveling to tournaments across the world, meeting tons of new people. Full disclosure, we don't pay you to play bridge anymore. So I know it's a tough sell. But even if you don't start playing bridge, I hope you'll remember bridges. Because the unexpected gift of bridge has been the connections it's built me. Bridges that span generations and geographies. Bridge isn't just a card game. It's about partnership. We share strategies with each other, yes, but also stories and life lessons. Each table I've played at is a new conversation and lets me glimpse different life paths. I played with Jeff, a 40-year-old Canadian teacher, Zia, an 80-year-old Pakistani grandmaster, Bill, a retired biologist, and even Bill Gates. Many friendships I've made through bridge wouldn't have existed if I didn't seek out this connection. So find mentors, learn who to trust, because not all advice is worth taking. Not all advice is worth taking. If you don't believe me, you're already doing a great job. No one does life alone, so lean on our Amherst community. Some of my earliest life advice came from alums who I reached out to. Mike Reed, class of '04, AJ Chianese and Ryan Park, '05, Haoran Tong, 2023, and many, many more. These alums responded to emails from some green freshmen who knew nothing about a career in law, and they spent hours conversing with me. They built me a bridge. Bridges go two ways. What bridge will you build for someone else? In just a few minutes, you'll also be an alum who can start building bridges for others. Take some time to mentor the interns at work, or respond to that Amherst freshman who emails you, because you never know, you might get a shout out at their commencement. Look to receive and create bridges. For me, it started with a silly little card game, Bridge. Find your bridge and pay it forward. It's finally time I give my stolen box back. But before I do, seniors, take a moment to ask yourself, what will you take away from your time at Amherst? And what will you give back to others in life after Amherst? It might take a while to answer that, so remember, Amherst isn't going to be just one time or place in our lives. It's going to be an eternal community of friends and a lifelong of explaining that, no, we're different from UMass Amherst. When our parents first sent us here, I'm sure that they hoped we'd become less naive and maybe figure out a life plan. But I hope we leave just as green and still a little uncertain about our road ahead. Because as the poet who we named our kind of ugly Frost Library after once said, "Two roads diverged. I chose the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference." I hope you choose the roads not taken. I hope you hold on to your greenness and the things many others would leave behind, because some of those things, like green to-go boxes, are actually worth keeping around. So before I end, I want to thank President Elliott, the Board of Trustees, professors, and all members of the college. You've truly made Amherst special, and it's been an honor to speak today. Thank you, families, for coming all this way. While other commencements get Nobel Prize winners and Kermit the Frog, you got me. Finally, thank you and congratulations, seniors. It was a pleasure to be young with you. As we depart, let's keep these 3 green box lessons in mind. Build bridges, embrace the rotten, and bring our freshman greenness to go.